we are developing students for the industry, career technical education, so that they become our replacements.
These young people have chosen this opportunity to get a jump start on their career.
They'll have a better idea about what they want to do and what they're good at by the time they leave high school.
There's some great opportunities for these students that are coming out of the career and technical programs from Henrico County.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of Henrico CTE Now. I'm Rashawn Garnett, and with me I have
Mike Roberts.
And as always, we are here to talk a little bit about career and technical education, as well as the industry and how CTE affects the world, I guess, in all. Yeah. It's just important to
the world of work, the world of education, everything. Okay.
Be sure to check us out on social media: YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Henrico CTE. Also check out our website, henricocte.com. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Mike, tell them where they can find the podcast.
Our podcast is hosted on anchor.com, but you can also find it on all of the major podcast resources out there, such as Apple, Google, Spotify, and tons more.
Everywhere, we got you covered. All right. And today we have a very, very special guest for your listening pleasure. He has invited us into his home, which is beautiful, I might add. It's a little bit of a, I don't know if I want to call it a remote location, I guess a rural location.
It's rural.
Let's not call it remote. Let's call it, it's a rural location, a lot more oxygen than I'm used to having. But it's still a very, very beautiful home with a really, really big yard. And we are talking to Mr. Delegate John McGuire from the Virginia House of Delegates, representing the 56th District. Mr. McGuire, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing very well. Rashawn and Mike, thanks for having me today.
All right. Well, thank you for having us inside of your home. And so just give us a little bit of background about yourself. Talk, just tell us about who John McGuire is.
Let's see. I got born and raised in Henrico County. Actually grew up in foster homes, 9 different elementary schools. My wife doesn't like it when I say it, but it's debatable. That turned out okay. But I actually graduated at Henrico High School, joined the United States Navy to become a Navy SEAL. I don't know if you know, typically 200 men per Navy SEAL class, usually 20 graduate. One class graduated 0 out of 200, and in our class we had 200 start, 19 graduate. I was number 4, smallest guy in the class. But one thing I like to tell everyone is not what you look like, it's what you fight like. And if any man or woman with 2 arms and 2 legs can do something, so can you. Started a business 20 years ago called SEAL Team PT. PT stands for physical training, not part-time.
It's a full-time job. You seem pretty busy.
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, my personal mission before I run out of life is to help people believe in themselves and realize that if we put our differences aside and work together as a team, we can move mountains. So it's a team-based physical fitness program. It led into motivational speaking all over the world, corporate teams all over the world. We work with Amazon and Universal Studios, Red Bull, Blackstone Group, a lot of big companies all over the world, and Division I football, basketball teams like Penn State, Texas, BCU, and many more. So very blessed to be able to do that. And I wasn't busy enough, but my youngest son went to the University of Kentucky, and our oldest son went into the Navy, and I was so proud. I said, how can I be part of something bigger than myself again? How do I go back in the Navy? How do I serve? And someone said, well, you should run for office. And I said, well, what's the deal? And they said, it's only 60 days a year. And I fell for that. But yeah, so I got elected to the Virginia House of Delegates, and I have Patrick Henry's seat. So I've got some big shoes to fill.
Wow. Holy cow.
A lot of history there.
Yes, definitely.
And we understand that you mentioned that you went to Henrico High School. Did you get any type of CTE training while there, and how has that kind of helped you, with your career path or with your life in general?
Well, very much. A lot of people come up to me all the time and say, "You're a Navy SEAL. Thank you for your service." But there are many ways to serve, and I think about our educators, our teachers. I always thank them for preparing our young people for life. And I got to tell you, I did very well in the SEAL teams. I was smallest guy in my class. They nicknamed me Pitbull. But I had a lot of success. And one thing I did in Henrico High School is I took 3 years of electronics from Mac Beaton. And when I got into the Navy, I thought they were tricking me because I spent the first 2 months studying hydraulics, electronics, synchros, and servos. before I even touched a rifle. So I thought I was being tricked or something, but as part of the preparation becoming a Navy SEAL at the time. And Mac Beaton's training in electronics put me ahead of everyone. Sometimes on a Monday, they would say, okay, this week is all about transistors. So I would tell them I already know about transistors. So what the students would do is they would take classes every day, Monday through Friday, and Friday would be a final test on transistors. So what I would do on
That's a tongue twister right there.
Yeah, it's a tongue twister. So what I would do on Monday is I would actually challenge the course, and I would take Friday's test on Monday, and if I did well, I got the whole week off. So they called them academic weeks off. So I guess I would say Henrico High School, and Mac Beaton, their CTA gave me a head start in life, and I think that's what CTE does. It gives students a head start on life.
Yeah, and that's what we're all about, right, Mike? Giving kids an idea, or at least starting that, I guess, planting that seed in their mind. What is it that I might be interested in, and where can I take these skills that I'm learning in the classroom directly from the classroom to the world of work?
Yeah, these skills are the type of things that you take with you the rest of your life, whether you decide to go into one of these careers, or you go to college and you change the direction you're going. You still have those skills that can help you through the rest of your life, even if it's just what you're learning from the teacher that's not in the book.
Well, it develops your critical thinking abilities. One of the things I did at Henrico High School is we took a piece of plexiglass board covered in copper. We put little strips of electrical tape on it. We dipped it in a bucket of etchant acid. We pulled it out, removed the electrical tape, and now you have a circuit board. Yeah. We drilled little holes. We went down to Radio Shack, bought resistors, capacitors, and all the components, and we would make our own AM radios from scratch and tune them and listen to them. Even back in the 80s, now the big thing is robots and all this sort of thing.
Right.
I remember in Mac Beaton's class, we were building robot kits that would follow an IR light across the floor, or even go 5 feet left, 10 feet straight, things like that. And of course, you can imagine in the military, those skills could come in handy.
Oh, definitely.
Or just about anything in life, especially nowadays with industry. So, like I said, head start on life.
Yeah, and Mac Beaton, who he keeps mentioning, if you don't know, he is the director of CTE now. He's come a long way since being a high school teacher at Henrico High School,
yes,
where I graduated from. So, as you can see and hear, greatness comes out of Henrico High School.
Oh, hey,
I had to plug that right there.
I got a great story about Mac Beaton. It might make you laugh. So this part-time job in the House of Delegates, I was at Education Legislative Breakfast for Henrico County a couple of years ago, and I was standing around a group of teachers telling this story about a teacher who looked like one of us in high school. He looked so young, we thought he was another high school kid, but now he doesn't look so young.
But you said that, not me.
Matt didn't hear that. I didn't say it.
But I was telling him about this teacher who looked like one of us, and he prepared me so much to have a successful career in the military. And as I'm telling this story, there's a gentleman with a beard who says, "That's me." I was sitting there talking to like 8 teachers. He was one of the teachers. I didn't recognize him anymore. But what a coincidence to run into somebody you hadn't seen in 20, 30 years or so.
That is pretty cool.
Right. CTE has a long-term effect on really anybody it touches. On the topic of CTE, let's delve a little bit deeper. Let's go into the ACE Centers. You attended our second annual signing day, CTE signing day 2.0, right?
Yeah.
Got to get that name right, 2.0. We had a lot more students this year, a lot more businesses involved. So talk a little bit about, your perception of that event.
I think it's an incredible idea. I had a great time there. Basically, what is the purpose of education? To prepare young people for life. And you want to get out and be productive members of society. And the fact that you guys have been smart enough or genius enough to partner with local businesses is great. And since that event, I've actually spoken with several business owners that are friends of mine and said, hey, you guys are always looking for young people to hire for your businesses, so I'm putting them in touch with Mac Beaton to maybe help improve your program for your junior, maybe someone in their junior, senior summer works with some of these companies, and then maybe when they graduate high school, they get a full-time job right out of high school.
That's awesome.
So I've actually been spreading the word, and I actually did the same thing you guys did. They had it in Goochland County last week, so I went there to talk about where they have the hats and what company's going to hire you. They're doing the same thing. So I don't think everyone does what you're doing in Henrico, but I think it's a good idea. We should model all over Virginia if not the entire country. It was a great experience.
Right, and it creates I think a positive picture of, let's be excited about moving on into the world of work. We talk often here on the podcast about having these jobs, going right into work. That's just as important as getting a college degree. Both are viable options. It depends on what you want to do. So you should not feel ashamed if you're going straight to work after high school. In many cases, some of those kids are even better off coming out of high school with those skilled trades under their belt.
Yeah, because you've got a lot of students. They reach their senior year and they still don't know what it is they want to do. And they just start taking off some basic classes in college. And with the statistics the way they are today, it's everybody thinks that everybody graduates. It's not happening that way. And so when they're coming out with these skills, they have something not only just to fall back on. This isn't just a temporary thing. This is something they're already set for a career. Right. I like saying that these kids aren't getting jobs, they're starting their career. Compared to the signing day last year to this year, we started off with, we think we had 20 students that got hired last year by 6 businesses, and we had 110 students and 60 businesses this year. And what's going to happen next year? And even though signing day was a couple weeks ago, I'm hearing more and more businesses contacting. There was a meeting yesterday where a business came and visited, and we want to talk to your kids in the electricity class. Yep. And it's because it's like a snowball is going, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger every year. And what you alluded to about patterning this across the state and the nation, it's already happening. We're already seeing it. The last year we got that huge bump because Mike Rowe saw one of our posts and reacted to it. He's got over 5 million followers on his Facebook page, and it just exploded.
So signing day, very big, very, very important, and CTE as a whole is very, very important. And John, I just kind of want you to just speak about, in your opinion, how important is CTE and career and technical education, do you think, to society as a whole?
I think it's vital. It's vital because we have an incredible economy right now, and the economy's growing. People are looking for people to hire. And apparently there are more jobs than they can find people right now. And we want our children to be successful. And what is the purpose of education? I'll go back to that, is to prepare them for life. And I think it's okay to say not every child is meant to go to college. So very important.
I wish we were hearing that more. It's just because it's not just a stumbling block that Rashawn and I see when we're recruiting and talking to these students, and giving them the different options that we have, that they can, of the 30 programs at the ACE Center and the 150 some that we have at the middle school and high school level. It's getting past that. Oh, my kid's going to college. I don't even want to talk to them.
You're right.
We've got to get in front of this and get the stigma of technical centers and VOTEC and all that, and get back to where we used to be. We've got too many jobs just sitting there, no one out there to take them.
Right, and not enough people to fill them.
Yeah.
We are speaking with Delegate John McGuire from the Virginia House of Delegates, representing the 56th District. And so, John, how do you believe we can actually work to change some of those stigmas, right? Some of those negative stigmas that are actually out there about CTE, that these are not viable careers, that, some of the ugly kind of stereotypes that circulate around getting a job right out of high school or going into the skilled trades programs?
Well, one thing is, if you look in our society, there's some very successful entrepreneurs out there that we can talk about that did not go to college. So that's one. Number two, what you guys are doing, signing day, that's promoting that, and just sharing on social media, and maybe having a report card where these folks get hired, and you have like a story. You guys do a story 6 months out, a year out, 2 years. How is this person faring? And if people start seeing that success, they're going to jump on board.
Yeah, just the reaction that we're seeing in so many more students from last year to this year is showing that we're making some kind of a difference.
Yeah, making some type of wave.
Yeah. Last year, the General Assembly had a bill talking about how they could eliminate the stigma associated with the career and technical education options. Is there anything that else could be done, or is what's happening is seeing any benefit?
Well, I'm on the education committee, and I think you always have to collect data and get feedback. But I would hand it over to you folks that are living it every day. I think the sign-in day program you have is incredible. And like you said, last year, what is the difference between last year and this year?
Oh, yeah. 20 students to 110.
So what's going to happen next year?
Oh,
It should
the
grow.
sky's the limit. I mean, really.
I also think this, I am in the General Assembly, and we do eliminate laws, modify laws, and create new laws. I think sometimes the best law is no law at all. Free market, let the local school boards, let you guys be creative. I think the free market, our capitalist society, is the biggest creator of opportunity and creativity in the history of man. If you look at the United States, we're small compared to, say, India, Russia, China, and other things, but we've created the most wealth and quality of life of any country in the history of man. So our capitalist society, free market works. Let you guys do your thing.
Yeah, great. That's awesome to hear.
All right, guys. So we're running up against the clock here. I want to thank you, Mr. McGuire, Mr. Delegate John McGuire, for allowing us to come inside of your abode and hang out with you and talk a little bit about CTE. I want to thank you guys out there for listening. Mike, tell them where they can get the podcast.
You can find the podcast on anchor.com and also on all of your favorite podcast venues such as Apple, Google, and Spotify, and many others.
Feel free to check us out on social media, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all at Henrico CTE. Don't forget to check out our website, henricocte.com, so you can stay up to date on us. All right.
Subscribe and like.
Oh, yeah. Subscribe and like. Subscribe so you will get notified next time a Henrico CTE Now podcast drops. Okay. For Mike Roberts, for Delegate John McGuire, I'm Rashawn Garnett. Thank you guys so much for listening. So long, everyone.
Goodbye.